Hello, Pisces, sun, moon, and rising. Is there some area of your life that you've been feeling like any area of your life? You just can't make a decision. The things are stalled, that you've been traveling back to the past, rethinking your life, nostalgic, reconsidering love and beauty. That's because Venus and Mercury have been retrograding in the sign of you, and they are going forward at last. And Mars is giving you new mojo momentum in a flowing and beautiful way around creativity, entrepreneurship, and love. We're going to break this down for you in the month ahead. So let's get started. I'm ready to roll. So, what I want you to know, am I recording? Yes, is that you're going through a beautifully rare time. And if you're a Pisces, you're here to tell the tale. I mean, you've got a stellium not seen in our lifetimes of energy in Pisces, Saturn, Venus, Mercury, North Node, priorly Neptune, whatever. It's just a pile up in your sign. And on top of that, a Saturn North Node not seen since the 1850s. So, broad brushstroke, you're being revisioned, reinvented by destined, fated circumstances into a whole new you, a whole new you, a whole new world. This has been taking place last month, and it does not stop in the month of April. So, one thing I want you to know is you're in transformation mode, and the eclipses are destined to change who you are and who you think you will be as North Node eclipses continue to prevail in your first house through to mid 2026. You're expanding your identity. If you're listening for your sun, your career and purpose, your moon, where you live, in your home, and you're expanding your rising sign, Pisces, then any area of your life can change dramatically in the next 18 months. Now, welcome to my channel, by the way, because if I didn't say so, I'm Lori Lothian, and I'm using Western Tropical Zodiac, whole sign houses, fixed stars, and the minor asteroids. Today, we're talking about Juno, an asteroid of what we commit to, what we agree to in marriage, love, and all kinds of vows and commitments. And she's really activated very beautifully for you this month ahead as well. So if you want to know more about me, check my description box below. You can find out about my Cosmic Moonshine newsletter where I give away free gifts, including readings, and you won't get that anywhere else. You'll find out contests for those actually, and you'll find out about me at Patreon where you get to get this early access ad-free content that you're watching on YouTube, but you would have had it a few days before without ads. And you also can get lots of Zoom classes with me on Patreon for various tiers. The lowest is $5. Check it out. And I'm on Substack writing the Pluto Chronicles. Check it out below. Hit the more button, and look in the description box. All right, so moving on. I'm going to give you a good 25 minutes if I can here. All right, so first things first. You're ruled by Jupiter, not Neptune, and Jupiter's in the fourth house. Jupiter moving through your fourth house is giving you luck at home, from home, prosperity from home, has been doing this since last May and exits here at June the 9th. You're still under the prosperity, luck, and opportunity spell of Jupiter in the fourth house, including legacy, wealth, and inheritances from people in your life or the life of other people, like your partner in love. And that energy continues to go forward through to June. So, bank on it. It's a positive energy, can help you with all matters in life, actually, but particularly good things about and from home, expansion of home, prosperity in the home and from the home, and legacy wealth as well through inheritances. Now, next thing I want you to know about, I've been sitting a long time, please excuse my wiggling. Next thing I want you to know about here is that not only are the two planets going direct, Venus and Mercury on the 7th of April and Venus on the 12th. But we also have Mars moving signs this month. And that's important for you because when it comes to matters of livelihood and work, you're going to be able to move forward this month on the 18th of April, add 2 months. So there's a big sea change energy going on here. Now, those are the overviews. Let's break it down into a week by week story. In the first week of April, Mars will trine Saturn, and he was trining Saturn anyway already, and that trine to Saturn was happening for you in the last 10 days of March. And this is simply to say you have the opportunity for working hard and paying off with dividends and spades by being diligent, perseverant, and hardworking in creative, artistic, or entrepreneurial projects. That's your fifth house where he's traveling, things go well. This fortifies and improves your relationship to your children in the last 10 days of March. Add, if you have children, add the first 7 days of April. This is also really good for being competitive and also sustaining your competitive spirit. And it can be really good as well for initiating things that are you're passionate about that are also entrepreneurial or creative and getting really good traction through hard work during that long window of the last 10 days of March and the first week of April. Or a child's moving out of the house or something and it's going really well and it's really smooth. Now, there's a sextile to Uranus ongoing for the first 7 days of April. And this is going to create a mini grand trine that's very lucky. And the luck is landing in the third house. So if I was in this chart, I would initiate the following things. I would launch a website. I would start a creative project. I would start a writing project. I would take a very important journey or trip that I want to do connected to my children or my long-term or my romantic partner. But there's a lucky surprise quality in that first week of April. Uranus brings the unexpected or the breakthroughs and surprising elements to do with that travel, getaways, neighbors, neighborhood, writing projects, social media, and online stuff. So it's really good for those of you involved in online things, but travel things bring positive surprises. And maybe if you're single, Venus is trining Mars, a new romance emerges through a travel opportunity for single Pisces. Or a leisure romantic trip with a significant other emerges in the first week of April that's surprisingly delightful. Now, Jupiter hooks up with the Sun on the 5th of April in a beautiful lucky sextile. Sun is in your second house of money, Jupiter is in the fourth, an unexpected financial pop connected to your earnings and savings, connected to things you're doing in the home, about the home, or from the home. If you're thinking of buying or selling a home, I guess this could be a part of that. But some lucky break is occurring here. Aries Sun in the second, flowing to Jupiter in your fourth. Again, exact around the 5th, 6th, but you'll feel it 2 or 3 days before and 2 or 3 days after. So the first week is very lucky week for you in the sky. Now, when we look over at Venus at the same time, around April the 7th, she gets all squished up with Saturn. She falls into a backward retrograde and hits him, and that's like hitting a wall. Saturn hits a wall, Venus hits a wall in the house of you. You may hit a wall, but you may also not mind this. What the wall would be about what you value, what you desire to have in your life, about what you appreciate. But it could be a personal feeling too, like I don't like the way I look old, or I feel frumpy, I feel old and tired. I don't like my appearance, my wardrobe. Now, sometimes it's something funny, like she's like, okay, it's time to throw away the pilled sweaters and the crappy stuff you never wear that doesn't fit you anymore. Time to Grim Reaper, Saturn, your wardrobe, Venus. That's all it could be, because it's retrograde Venus. It's clothes you've had for a while, because she will go direct into Saturn on the 25th. And that's to buy new things in your wardrobe that you really like that are going to go the distance and last forever. So it's not a big deal, but it's important to notice that all of April, Venus and Saturn in the house of you are together. And you may be very circumspect about love, romance, beauty, fashion, yourself, your likability, your appearance, your self-worth, your self-love, your values. A lot of you assessing this for the long haul, the long tail, the long game. Saturn is like what will endure and last in love and money and beauty and kindness and friendship in your life. And through the lens of this enduringness of Saturn, Venus is being contemplated, So there's a lot of that going on. Sometimes it's nostalgia, especially from the past. Like you're really thinking back to, oh, my first boyfriend, or oh, my first, beauty pageant or something like that. So you're dominated by that. The nostalgia and the backward looking part will end, if that's been preoccupying you, when Venus goes direct on April the 12th. Okay. And then it's all systems go. And when she connects with Saturn on the 27th, then you're really looking at what new things you wish to create, what deep desires and havingness you want for your life that are going to endure and go the distance, that are they're realistic and they're worth your contemplation, right? Mercury will go direct on the 7th of April and be in direct motion in the house of you, your Pisces first, sun, moon, and rising zone. We call that your first house, through to about the 16th. This is really good for writing projects, communicating ideas that you want to get off the ground, that you've been waiting to do so, especially given that he trines Mars in your 5th house. And therefore, it's really a nice little time around the 16th to the 18th, when we still have Mars in your 5th house and Mercury in your first. Mars to the 15th to the 18th is good to go. 16th to the 18th, those 2 days, to initiate something, to launch the website, to get the creative project started, to make that important phone call or email to your child or your lover or something like that. That's really positive. To engage your competitive spirit and enter a competition of some sort. Then Mercury will move on the 16th of the month of April until May 11th into the next house, which is your money house. Well, Mercury is a god of marketing, selling, commercial prospects, negotiations. Are you looking for a job? You could get one, not too shabby. I really like that for this. So looking for new job opportunities, contracts, and agreements around work. Mercury says, yes, we'll get you that job if you want that job. He's going to work his ass off to get you hired. You might also be able to market, sell something. And there's a lot of communication going on when he's in the second house of speech as well. So again, we get Mercury there on the 16th to May 11th. And so look at that as an awesome time for everything I've just described to you. And we'll be bringing him back into the story shortly. He has some more work to do with you later on. Venus will head direct. Now she's exalted in Pisces, and she spent a lot of time here. She was here in January, and then she retrograded, and now she's back. A lot of Venus and Pisces for you this time around. So she will head direct on April 12th. Now she got back into Pisces on March 27th, okay, and then she's still retrograding. But on April 12th, she heads direct. So you're contemplating a lot about your own self-worth and value and money and deservability around financial success. That's what she does, retrograding from second house to first. Otherwise, it's about facial rejuvenation and surgeries and stuff like that, either and or both, right? Fixing your teeth, your nose. So those are themes that you're going through, and you've been going through as she's been retrograding since March the 1st. In Aries and now back in March 27th into Pisces. And now she's going backwards as the month begins. And then on April 12th, she turns around. When she turns around, you turn around, you face forward, and you're no longer looking at the past or no longer quibbling about what you want to do. And we already have Mercury direct on the 7th. So there's a nice little sweet spot with Mercury direct and Venus direct that is between the 12th and the 16th of April, where you can make really good decisions and take actions around self-worth, self-value, job prospects, havingness, facial appearance, rejuvenation, getting a new wardrobe, buying a new wardrobe, negotiating a new job situation, and being very charming and lovable and like Miss Congeniality, Mr. Congeniality. It's a good window of time for applying for jobs, taking those interviews, getting success on anything you want to tackle in the 10th house of career as well. And Jupiter looks at your career house and tries to beam luck up there. So a great job time for you if you're looking for work, for example. Again, you really want to grab that while you have Mercury involved as well. So between April 12th and maybe the 15th is the best time for that. Now, one other thing I want to mention is that Mars is getting into the storyline. And Mars is, and you've got Venus in Pisces till May 1st. So it's all about you. It's all about your beauty, your wardrobe, your fashion, what you want, what you desire. You are lucky, you are persuasive, you are charming, go for it, especially when she's in direct motion. Okay, so that's you. And then she'll go into your money house and love you up there in Leo. So don't even worry about it. You got lots of love coming from her after May 1st when she's traveling through your second house. But Mars is getting into the mix. Mars is complicated. Mars is complicated. So Mars has been doing things in the sky that we haven't seen since 1977, 78. That would have been September of 77 to June of 78. So Mars entered in September and October to your 5th house. Now that's the house of children. That's a house of romance and sex. That's a house of business, entrepreneurship, and creative projects, inspiration, fun, play, and pleasure. Having Mars here, cutting, severing, ending can be difficult. And you may have had fractures with children, difficulties with your romantic life, challenges with your creativity, failures in your entrepreneurial stories, things like that. So Mars going through this part of your chart back then, September and October, you got used to that. And then he left and he was like, okay, done with that. Moved into the work and health house on November 3rd. Could have caused injuries. My sister was a Pisces. She got injured then. But anyway, November 3rd to January the 6th, rashes, heat, inflammation, injuries. sunburns, I don't know, things could have impacted your health, but also you might have been, Mars is in the house of his joy. November 3rd to January 6th, when he was in Leo, you might have been working hard or trying to work hard with joy, and maybe trying to negotiate new improvements to your health, including like things like physiotherapy or movement. You may have been trying to secure a lease or property, and you may have succeeded at it. You may have been trying to get a new pet. Okay, these are things he may have been doing: eliminate a debt, pay down a debt. These are things you could have been doing November 3rd to January 6th. But then he went back again, retrograded December 6th, and ended up back in Cancer. That's your fifth house: children, romance, fun, play, pleasure. He got back there in a retrograde motion, all right, all the way through to February 23rd, and then went forward on February 23rd and leaves this part of your sky on the 16th of April. This is a lot like it would have felt, you being you, if you can remember, September of 1977 to June of 1978, because what happens next is mid-April or so, April 18th, he enters Leo, and he will be in Leo, your sixth house, all the way through until mid-June, June 17th. So let's talk about a few stories that are emerging here as this gets ready to happen. Just before he crosses into Leo, your sixth house, he will come into contact with the nodes of fate in a beautiful, flowing, and positive way. That will be happening on April the 12th. When he's in this flowing state, April the 12th, he's going to open up destined opportunities in money gains for you, connected to your children, money luck, winning money in a competition, like a lottery, money luck connected to, or changes connected to entrepreneurial or creative projects. And when he does this energy to the nodes of fate, and I'm bringing the money because this is a house of good fortune and can involve money coming from, or financial goodness coming from, fifth house matters, he expands your identity. Venus is with you. She's a goddess of prosperity and money as well. So expand your potential for an identity of, I am wealthy, I am, healthy, but I'm wealthy. I am excited, I'm creative, I'm artistic, I'm inspired, I'm entrepreneurial, and I feel good about me, and I can bring the prosperity and wealth, Venus is with you, that I want and need in my life. If you're single and your romance could start here, no doubt about it. And maybe because of traveling or journeying to far off lands and shores. Okay, that's a possibility. He does form a beautiful trine to Uranus in the house of travel, and Venus is hooking up in that trine as well. So that is a vibe of destined, fated, significant, positive change. There is a pulling away around your significant relationships in life, like long-term committed love, as the South Node is being pulled on and activated by Mars. And so for some of you, if your self-worth, self-well-being, your prosperity, and feeling good about what you want to be and become needs to involve an end of a relationship, then Mars can bring that in a soft, flowing, and easy and destined way as well, just so you know. Now, hopefully, anyway, he is in his fall, hopefully somewhat softer than not. On April the 17th, Mars forms a fortunate grand water trine. And now he's moved on to the drowning 29th Gandanta degree of your fifth house of children, love, sex and romance, entrepreneurship and creativity. And he flows in a beautiful water trine to retrograde Juno in the ninth house, and flows back to that Venus, North Node, and Saturn in your first house. Destined, flowing, fortunate circumstances involving agreements, vows, and contracts in third marriages, maybe legal agreements and contracts to do with marriage, fortunate, harmonious endings in marital situations, prosperous and lucky and fortunate and flowing opportunities regarding publishing, book publishing, higher education, academic agreements, accepted to college, accepted to your favorite school, etc. You get to have what you want, but you must agree to it. The agreements are coming off your ninth house, Scorpio, Dharma house, in alignment with your purpose, in alignment with the true reason that you're on the planet and your true north. And because there's like the children in the fifth house and grandchildren in the sixth house, ninth house, you never know. Circumstances may emerge with children and grandchildren that are quite destined and fortunate and flowing and wonderful and easy and lucky and beautiful around that grand trine happening. Although there is some turbulence at the 29th degree, water degree, Gandanta for both Juno and Mars. So a harmonious sacred closure legally of a long-term committed love story could be a story in this as well. Just could be, doesn't have to be. And we're going to move forward to the 18th of April. And now Mars moves into Leo. Well, Mars moves into Leo and he opposes Pluto. You felt that on January 3rd, the same kind of energy, although Mars is retrograde. Now he's going to go back and try again. This is Mars wanting to make a fight happen or cut and sever opposite Pluto, explosive and intense energy in your 12th house, your 12th house of hospitals, ashrams, solitude, aloneness, jail, self-undoing, and addictions and bad habits. And in this energetic opposition from the sixth house of karmic debts and debt indebtedness. For one thing, Mars likes to cut, and he can cut a debt out of your life, and Pluto is a god of wealth. There is that possibility. Pluto is in a kind of place where money can come through people connected to hospitals and legacy wealth. Just saying, family of origin members passing money on to you could be an explosive energy here through illness, I guess, but I'm not going to say that for sure. I mean, this is a general bell curve astrology reading. It's not your personal chart. You may be able to suddenly, explosively, dynamically, with strong willpower you never knew existed, get rid of an addiction, a self-undoing bad habit or behavior. All of a sudden, it doesn't matter. It's so easy to stop smoking. It's so incredibly powerfully easy to do what you need to do. Your willpower is divinely powered up with Pluto, and it's amplified willpower. So you've got this intense, unstoppable ability to cut out that which does not serve your greater health. And it can be massive changes in dietary style as well. So you may do that. That's nice. Sun can support that as well up until the 20th to cut out foods and stuff in your life that doesn't support your diet. And maybe dynamic willpower to start a new exercise routine, something simple. Again, this is April the 18th. But, and the big but is the sun. The sun will leave your earnings house where it's been shining a burning ray of your money, resources, earnings, food style, and facial appearance. It's been shining a burning ray March the 20th to April the 20th. But on April 20th, the sun moves into your third house. Your third house is your travel house, your neighbors, your neighborhood, your sibling one younger, aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, and nephews, online social media and writing projects, teaching and learning opportunities. Okay. So the sun lights that house up. And then what happens is Mars squares it in the sixth house and Pluto squares it in the 12th, making a T-square. From the 20th of April to the 25th of April, this is active. Explosive tensions require decisions and actions. It can be anything. There's a crisis with one of your children and you need to take action. There is like in their elementary or high school, because that's the third house. There's an explosive disruption in your romantic life with your long-term love partner. There is an intensity of shock and awe in your third house with Uranus and the sun lighting it up to do with writing projects, social media stuff. And then there's some need for action or decisions to be made all of a sudden. So I could see this looking like a sudden shocking need to rent a property in another neighborhood or rent your home out in another neighborhood, for example, because rental properties belong to the sixth house and Uranus is in the house of the neighborhood with the sun shining brightly. And of course, Jupiter is bringing you opportunities in land, property, and real estate. Some of this may not be destabilizing. It may be positive, right? Jupiter can mean more people in the home. Maybe you need to rent out a room in your home. Maybe you'll do that. If you have a sibling one younger, or you have aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, and nephews that may have some explosive energy that needs your attention, this may also be just simply about them. And suddenly you're all riveted by their story and you have to pay attention to what they're doing, for example. You could have a dynamic, sudden, and shocking opportunity to rearrange a financial debt structure. That could happen here as well. That's what I've got for you. It's really hard to say. If you're looking for a new job or a work situation, that could also be emerging here. but there's tension. Like you must make a decision now. You must take action now. This is like, this cannot wait, that kind of thing, you know? So like, hey, honey, I got a job offer and I've got to move to another neighborhood. Or hey, you know, your honey is your person. Work activities and the online world are also activated by this Mars square Uranus. The downside is injury. Be careful. Mars and Leo could have injured you in November, December, and it's back again. Uranus is the neighborhood. You know, going out, driving on the road, you know, taking a steep flight of stairs at a restaurant or something like that. Pluto in the house of hospitals. Warning, Pisces. Driving especially. Traveling, driving, short distance travel, accidents and injuries. Be careful. I'm not talking about the pilot in the plane. I'm talking about like you got to be careful about what you're doing specifically. If you can, please do. And most acutely around April 20th. So April 20th to 25th, be extra careful around local neighborhood injuries, accidents, short distance travel, probably as well. That's what I've got for you. I hope that's useful. Don't forget, if you like and subscribe, you help the channel grow. If you hit the notification bell, you never miss anything that I'm putting out. I hope that does help you. I hope I was actually somewhat looking at the camera. I was reading my notes there, and that this is some kind of information that does help you navigate your life with greater ease and flow. I'm finishing this up at 4:30 p.m. after a long day of recording on March 19th, where my Patreon community gets this mostly tomorrow after my sister gets to it on the back end. But if you want to be a part of Patreon, I teach Zoom classes and stuff like that, and we're much more intimate and we have fun over there. I'll see you either in Patreon or in my next video. Oh, thanks, guys. Ciao, ciao.